this episode we're going to get into some EM pinball, some electro-mechanical pinball, guys. And I tell you what, this is an area of pinball, it's a genre of pinball which I haven't really got into in the past. I've dabbled a little bit, I've had a few games here and there, and you know, it's simple, it's very simplistic pinball, right? But that's where pinball all started. And guys, first up is Humpty Dumpty. I think the very first pinball game to have flippers. Of course, they were all just sort of ball games on boards with pins and bits and pieces as the ball made its way down, and this was, I believe, the first one that came out with flippers, so back in 1947. And so this is a historical table, guys, and it's just amazing that we have the opportunity to play it. And look at the speed of this, and I'm hoping that this is sort of this is accurate to the day, and I'm sure it is accurate to the machine itself. And it's just crazy. I have to try and work out how to get the balls to come back out, because it's a little bit different with the start controls. So look at these flippers on the side here. You know, 6 flippers facing backwards. You sort of got to try as much as possible to keep the ball up high, because of course once it gets down the bottom there's no way getting it back. So it was just introducing a little bit of that skill factor, where you could influence the way the ball traveled down the table. And you know, wow, that was the starting thing. I don't know why my knocker's going off there, it's triggering something, but it's cool actually on some of these EM tables that the DOF framework has been hooked up with added lights and stuff. And obviously they didn't have these lights on the table, and you could argue that that's not really in keeping with emulating it the traditional way, but I don't care, guys, because seriously it actually adds, the DOF framework adds a nice little bit of addition of lighting and stuff to these old tables. It just makes them a little bit more exciting. But you know, this is actually, you know, this is the first time, guys, I've ever played this game. I mean, not right now, I played it when I was testing it, but I was surprised in terms of, you know, I could sit and play this. I could. Look at that. There's some skill in it, and even though it's so slow, it's just a different style of game. And in a way, it's sort of a bit like ice cold beer. Nothing like the game, but ice cold beer is, you know, another game that's using a real metallic ball in a different sort of way. And it's just, I don't know, you don't have to have fast and furious pinball all the time to enjoy playing, you know, with a mechanical ball, if that makes sense. Got a little thing here to put my initials in, so that's pretty cool, stuck on the side there. So there you go, guys, Humpty Dumpty. Every pinball player should play Humpty Dumpty. It's where it all started. Okay, guys, big casino. So let's get to this ago. This is a card casino based game, which is very popular in this era. And of course, look at the flippers now. We have them the right way around. They're down, getting closer to where we have them in modern pinball, but very far apart. So there's still a lot of luck in this game, but you still have the opportunity to, oh, that's nasty, to get the bounces off. And guys, these games, when you play them for a little bit, you start to get these nuances of the bounces on the bottom area, and there is a lot of skill in it. Like, yeah, not going to get that one back. And it's just one of those things. You need to play it a lot to work out how the ball's going to react and bounce off the posts. And I don't know, it is skillful. And I think that's the thing that makes you come back. I want to play these old games. It's like, this is typical just skill and also a bit of luck. So it's that little luck is that sort of fun factor with it as well. Again, guys, we're only going to take a brief look at each one of these, but I do implore you to get out there and run these guys up and spend a bit of time on them because they're awesome. Let's check out the next one. Okay, guys, Buckaroo. This one has a cool little back glass of this this horse that ends up kicking the guy's butt. It's quite interesting. And the other thing, of course, you can see here, we've got the flippers are coming a little bit more, and we have a new innovation in the middle here. We have a new innovation of this little spin roto. So these guys are the toys of the EM machines. Now the other thing that's going on here is, even though these flippers have moved in now and we've got a little bit more control, we still don't have any in-lanes as such, and so it's actually still very difficult to control. Hard to catch the flipper down here, of course, because it's going to be coming off the rubber. And again, this is acting very much like a center post. Well, it is a center post, but you know, in terms of modern day pinball. And the funny thing here is that you can literally let it hit that pin because you can't hit it with the flippers. A little bit like that. And that's again just part of the skill. And you know, guys, it's actually pretty challenging when you don't have those in-lanes to, you know, cradle, catch the ball and hold on to it and think about your next move. You literally got to just hit it when it comes down. And it's tough. Oh, I gotta love the chimes and bells as well. All right, guys, next one. Guys, slick chick, slick chick, or sluck chuck, as the Kiwis would say. This is an interesting one, isn't it? Look at this layout of bumpers up there. We've got the flippers down the bottom again. We still don't have in-lanes as such. Got a more angle on the slings. We've got these little things underneath to bounce the ball up and off, so it's another little change to how the ball works down the bottom here. And guys, this is the thing, I really feel like as you go through these games, you can sort of see how things have evolved and the choices that they've made over time of what was successful and what wasn't. It really is quite fascinating, eh? Wow. What? I'm gonna have to watch that replay back. I swear that ball disappeared. I swear that ball disappeared off the table. Wow, unless it must have flown back off that post, did it? Wow, guys. I don't know what happened to that ball. Mystery. Alright guys, that was Slick Chick. Let's get on to the next one. Cabaret. Wow, look at this for funky artwork. It's almost like Picasso style. Again, cool, we've got some DOF effects. Look at all the number of bumpers you have on this particular table. And we've got this thing that moves around up the top. Trying to work out what that is. Again, I haven't spent enough time on these tables to work out all the rules. And look, they're quite simple rules, obviously, but still, there's still a little bit to learn. The cool thing about this table is that you can again see this evolution happening where these outlanes are appearing. See the two outlanes on the side? They're just not rigged up like we would have them in today's modern pinball, but they're starting to show, guys. And the slingshot shape is sort of moving into position. I'd love to do like a morph, like a morph between all these tables to sort of show how it sort of forms. into the tables that we have today. You can definitely see the transition and the thought process. Woo, nice. Now this one actually also had the little ball save thing in the middle, which is evident in later games like Space Shuttle. Here it is, there it's up now. So again, that's another little thing that found its way. Look at that, how cool was that? Now it's come back down again. So yeah, when I think I first saw it on Space Shuttle, and I thought that was such an awesome little feature, and yet it's an old feature. The flipper's obviously right in the middle now, nothing in their way. That plunger needs to be moved forwards just slightly. But yeah, again guys, I know I could get into this game and play it again and again and again. So that is awesome. All right, okay, next one, guys, flip a card. Now the cool thing about this game, when I first played it, this just starts getting into those those later 8-ball type style games where you've got to, you know, knock down all the balls, and in this case it's getting all the cards. And it's got this cool little spin thing here in this kick out, which spins and then will take out one of the clovers. Of course, the black clovers on the for clubs on the cards. But this is a nice little game for just trying to, you know, pick off the ones that you need. So you're sort of trying to, you know, work your way around the table, and it's nice, guys. It's just a nice dynamic, and again, it's one of the ones that was done again and again on a lot of the pool tables, theme tables. And we also see for the first time we have an inlane which we can actually use on one side but not on the other. So they gave us one inlane here. So even that little dynamic on the table is pretty crazy. Oh. Got a few to go. And of course the back glass is dynamic and shows you the cards you've already got. I'm gonna get that number 7 over there. Come on, here we go, here we go, there we go. Oh, wow. But there you go, that was a little bit of nudging to get that one around. Although I didn't get it actually, I just noticed that 7 didn't actually come off. Wonder why? Oh, because I have to hit the target. I've got to hit the actual target there. Wasn't enough for it to just drop over the side. Geez, that's a tough shot. That's a tough shot. All right. 5 balls on this one. And I love the sound of the solenoids that the guys have put on these tables. And by the way, again, full props to the table authors. I think Loser Man is one of the big ones on VP forums that have done a lot of these tables, if I'm not mistaken. And they're just incredible. Oh, and with the DOF effects, I have the gear motor. I can hear the gear motor going when that spin goes, which again, just another nice immersion effect, which just brings these tables again a little bit more to life, guys. I'm loving this. I'm loving this game. All right, I want to play another one, but anyway, on to the next. I love the startup sounds, guys. That's the other thing. It just sounds so genuine. All the score reels clicking around back to 0. Well, 4 seasons we're playing here, and this is again unique. We've got the in and out lanes, but just the slings. No, there's no slings. Well, there's not slings in the normal place that we get in a later pinball machine, but we can still see the essence of it. And we have these little cool things, little dials on the. And this is the thing, guys. As I was going through these, I was just finding all these little unique aspects that I've never seen before. And what a cool idea is to have these dials, and depending on what they're pointing to will be the value that you get into, that you get when it's the arrow value when lit. So if I hit those two, I'd get the value of the arrows right now. The whole score's arrow value, and when lit, same player shoots again. So that must be some form of extra ball, is it? And I'm not sure what that middle target does actually. Again, I need to figure it out, guys. It's got a little bit of rules in here. Not as simple as you might first think. And then you know the A, B, C, D. It's reminiscent of like 8-Ball Deluxe. Get the D. Shoot for A. Ah, wow. So yeah, guys. Again, loving it. Absolutely loving it. Got the knocker. All right, next table. Okay, well this one's called Darling. And I don't know if, you know, if this was released in other names as well, because a lot of these EMs, guys, were reskinned and renamed for different markets. And this one's pretty floaty. There's not much angle on the table, but a few cool things again introduced in this particular EM. Got a lot of space there. These little ball catchers, funnily enough, those little ball catchers are the same little catchers that I have on my World Cup, which was this machine was originally, has exactly the same little catches there. So that's really interesting in itself. And then of course we've got these captive balls for the first time, or at least the first time I've seen with the tables that I've downloaded to date. It might appear on other tables as well, but hitting those, if I can actually manage to do that. Oh wow, just missed it. Notice this bottom one is spinning like crazy. Some sort of quantum physics going on there. Yeah, guys, like, even though this is slow, it still works. It still works. Even that. So if it was too fast, it would just go into that hole all the time. So when it's a little bit slow like that, you can sort of bounce and catch it. I'm not doing very, oh, there we go. There we go. So you can see how, yeah, right. So, yeah, so they shoot out and hit it. I mean, you can hit it yourself and get it over the other side. When 5 balls are on lit side, so that's the lit side, got to get them all across, then you advance. So again, guys, it's these little aspects of it that just help, you know, make a very structured game, and one where you can sort of just work your way around the table. Which again, I think when you're learning pinball, and obviously where it all started, these sort of games are awesome for anyone new to pinball. I think it's actually the better place to start before jumping straight onto a 90s DMD. From my experience anyway, that sort of put people off a bit. All right, let's get into the next one. Okay, Time Tunnel, guys, and we're back into this funky artwork. I've got the gear motor going at the moment as it cycles around this colouring on here, and I can't tell. I mean, that does obviously look like a funnel going down. The ball doesn't go down there, which is a bit of a shame, because that would be pretty cool. But it gets triggered to change the scoring, and I believe, yeah, to start the tunnel and then collect the tunnel amount, I think is probably this shot here. Those top kickers also start the tunnel. So this one's a sort of a little bit more basic, but I just thought it was pretty cool with this sort of tunnel effect and a little kick up there. You know, reminiscent of early Playboy table, which has that same sort of setup on the side. We have no pins or anything in the middle here, a reasonable gap between these flippers. Whoa! Can get furious. Again, no in lanes under the slings to play with. Wow. And of course, not showing scores or anything, guys, because this is just a bit of a quick blat to show some of the features of these tables. And one day we might home in on a couple of these tables and really go for some scores, because you know that's really, you know, what these tables are all about, right? Was getting high scores. And it still is, isn't it? It's still all about getting high scores, but that's just, that's crazy. This artwork is really funky. Okay, let's look at the next one. So Bronco, guys. It's a fairly well-known pin. We can see here, whoa, we have our typical in and out lanes, and very much the start of modern pinball. Some middle drop down targets there, and so this starts playing like more something that you're familiar with. And you know, and again, don't be put off, guys, that there's no, you know, fancy music and all the rest of it. I actually really like the chimes and stuff sound. It's actually a nice sort of break from all the mayhem on D&D pinball machines. Sort of quite relaxing in a way. But having said that, you can still really have a strenuous game depending on the machine. There's some not quite nice little aspects to the design of this table. Especially through there, the ball can get caught coming back down and whip it down the middle. And you know, you guys that play pinball know, it's a lot of it is about the nuances of the table that you can only learn from playing the hell out of them. And that's where they become more and more fun. I mean, you need some immediate fun factor. But I'll tell you what, I love the way Visual Pinball 10 plays, because it's just it's not super easy. It's just not, and that's how it should be. You know, you shouldn't be able to play forever. And even on tables where, you know, these like that, these balls seem fairly floaty and slow, but it's still challenging with the way the ball moves around. Got to enter my name here again. I love these little post-it note little feature that they've added to these tables. It's just so cool. SPC or Spacies. Nice one. All right, let's look at the next table. El Dorado, another pretty popular EM, and this one's been reskinned a lot into other tables. There's one actually called Canada Dry, with exactly the same layout. And again, this is a nice cool layout. We've got our traditional in and out lanes down the bottom here. We've got 4 flippers. We start getting introduced to the 4 flipper arrangement of later pinballs, and this one's again really nice. I definitely haven't given it enough turns to really appreciate some of the elements of the design on this table, but you know, trying to get those little inlanes up the top there, I guess, is sort of like a bit of a skill shot. I'm going to be able to get it. And then these top, look at that, straight down the middle. You've got the, you know, the drop down targets at the back. You're using those top flippers to keep the ball up there, but you see how that bounces off and down the back? That's really quite a nice little design thing. So you sort of can't keep the ball held up there on that right flipper, and the same on the left, like that. It just drops down the side, sort of cascades. Again, guys, I can't stress enough. There's so many cool things in these tables. You know, it's a little bit like when I talked about the fact when I got Theatre of Magic and I was worried that I might, you know, not like Firepower as much because it's a more basic game, but I love Firepower and I still do. It doesn't change. It doesn't change the pinball experience just because it doesn't have all the fancy effects and music. It's got really nothing to do with it. If you like pinball, you're gonna like games like this. All right, next one. Centigrade 37. Man, this is one of the ones that I sort of played earlier on in the piece, and I love this little thing here, this cascading down the side and the way it bounces off the pins and off the rubbers on the way through. And of course, you know, it's trying to get the lights in the right order. Like that one. It's a little bit like the in Indiana Jones, right? Down the left-hand side. It is so cool. So this is just a really nice, fun table. And drop targets there. Other targets on the right. We've got the kick out up the top there. You can capture the ball like you would on a more recent table. Just a fun little table, this one. And on the back glass, it's got a temperature gauge that's going up higher and higher. And to be honest, I still haven't worked out what that does. So cool. Whew. And that's it. All right, let's get on to the next one. All right, Criterium 75, guys. It's like a cycling track theme, and it's got these cool captive balls in the middle here. Was it 10,000 points when lit? We've also got a spinner, and it's just so cool to see these new elements appear. The traditional in and out lanes at the bottom, look at that. Fantastic. Zip that through the spinner, how satisfying is that shot? And it's got a bit of speed coming off these flippers, and I think we've got that's the ability to save the ball in the middle for that one as well. And I think that's game over. I got this set only to 3 balls. That's bloody hard. So I'd like to see have a long game on that. All right, that's Criterium 75, another awesome one to spend some time on. Let's look at the next. Okay, Bank Shot. Now this is the one I actually took a photo of when I was setting up all of these machines and posted it on the Discord forum to let the guys there know that I was having a ball on this. And this was at the start of me exploring these tables, and I love the pool ball theme and knocking them down. Again, very reminiscent of the 8-ball series. That nice. And again, it's a nice another table like the finding all the clubs. And I love that. Oh, I love this little thing that it falls down, and see how that went the other way. Those were the games that I was having when I played this again and again, was trying to get the subtleties of the ball moving down those side out lanes there and making sure that you can sort of nudge it back in to save the ball. And that's where I did start to feel like I was nudging the table more. But it's still funny, eh? Like I still feel like a lot of the time I'm not nudging as much as I thought I would. I'm almost sort of watching the ball where it goes. Again, I think it's one of those things, you play them for a long time and then you start getting more energetic with the table. Try and save your shots. Get to, I want to get up the top there to that 3 and the 11. Wow, Here we go. Here. Oh, wow. Wow. That was a wow. Oh, man. Get that 3. Come on. Come on. Come on. Through the 1. Okay, it's up to 11. Come on, there we go. Nice. And the 3. Oh, we get the 3 there. So that's the cool thing, is you got the 3 down. Oh, you got the 3 down the bottom and repeated up the top. So unlike the one with the clover, which had the spinning thing in the middle, you've got to go get them in the right places. One more, come on. Come on. Down the side. I like this one, eh? I do, there's something about it. The way that this plays. Come on. 3, 3, 3, 3. Much again. Yes. Oh! I'm trying to backhand it over that way. Come on, come on, come on. Oh! Wow. It owned me. It owned me. Oh! Yes! Here we go. Okay, we got to get the. Oh wow, geez, that's so hard. You got to really nudge that to save that. Got the wow lit, and here's my chance. And these all have. If they all come back up and lit, or not? Some of them. Come on. Yes, nice. Oh, so the wow's unlit now. So I missed the chance. That's brutal. Last ball. Last ball, guys. Just had a bit of a game on this one. Come on. So you got the 4 on the outlane there, but of course you don't want to go down the outlane to get that 4. You get the 4 up the top. Wow. Well, again, just as fun as before. Get the name in. Right, look at this Fire Queen. What I love about this, you can start seeing how the improvement in the artwork as the games get a little bit later. And the artwork on this is stunning. It just starts giving it a bit of a later look. You see the direction of art in general with the theming. And those early ones were all a little bit, you know, quite basic. This is really nice. And drop down targets in the middle there. On the side up there. This one could probably do with a little bit more slope angle. I think if it was a little bit faster. Reminds me a little bit of Gorga. I don't know, just the sort of the colouring and I don't know, just the way it looks. Got that sort of look about it. So another one that's you know, it's all about the points and getting up here, I guess. I was trying to work out how to get up there. I'll be all about knocking those drop targets down. And we've got these sensitive rollovers here. I don't know if we saw those before. That's the first time we've seen those sort of rollovers. Oh, down the side. Dog has got 50 grand. What am I on? 36,000. So yeah, this one definitely. And it's funny, guys, because seriously, like the way the ball moves around on the other tables, given what's on them, I don't have a problem. with the speed. I've never really sort of thought, oh, I wish this was a bit faster on those other tables. This one though, yeah, I think that could come up a little bit. All right, well, let's hop out of here and I'll look at the next one. Right, so Joker Poker. And this is getting right up there until just before this changeover to solid state. And I believe that this Joker Poker, there is a version with a LED and solid state circuitry, I believe. This is the EM version. You can correct me if I'm wrong there, guys, but I'm pretty sure this was right in that transitional period where some were fully EM and others had an electronic scoreboard. But either way, you can see that this has really come up in terms of design and artwork and very traditional feel of pinball. We've got a third flipper up there too. It helps in that top part of the playfield. And again, it's a cool card theme, which I actually like. I like the card themes. And I love these chimes. I do, guys, I really do. There's something analog about all this whole experience. Even though we're playing digitally, I just feel it's more sort of chunky. I'm doing all right on this ball here. These flippers have got a fair bit of strength. And so what we've done, guys, is we've really sort of gone through, I didn't, pick them in a very specific order. The ones that I downloaded, I just chose these ones because they all seem to have a little bit of little components that sort of show how pinball has evolved. And I just thought that was pretty interesting. There is one final table that we're going to look at, and I've saved it to last because I'm saving effectively the best to last. As good as all of these other tables are, there is one table that I found which I still can't believe, because there's something very amazing about it from my perspective. It's very cryptic, isn't it, guys? And that's coming next. But I was stunned, and to give you a little bit of a hint, not because of the table, but for something else. Not because of the table design per se, but something else. Tell you what, let's let this ball drain and let's go check out that final table. Okay guys, here it is. It's Hot Shot, and some of you will know this game because it is pretty well known as a great EM on its own accord. But there is something incredible about this table, and you guys out there need to download it and play it to see if you agree with me. Now the first thing is, and it's got nothing to do with how great this game is, but they've got this cool little white cue ball, which is just great. But guys, the thing that's amazing about this table, this ball moves like a real ball. There is weight to this ball like I have not experienced in any other virtual pinball simulation. Seriously, and just the way it moves, the way it bounces like that, that was solid. I can see it. It's like, it's really weird, guys, eh? Like I'm hoping some of you will get onto this table and you'll go, ah, I see what Greg's going on about here. Because this table is a masterclass in ball physics accuracy. And I was in two minds, guys. Like, I was in two minds of like, should should I talk this thing up? Because is it really that good? And I'm like, it is. It's just incredible. Oh, it's heavy. The ball is heavy. What have they done? And I think the other thing too is the sounds on this table are so nice. It's got some deep, of those slingshots, they're really deep. Sort of, I don't think that sort of helps the impression, but I played this with the sound off, guys, just to see if it was the sound that was actually tricking my brain, and it's not. Look at that way, look at the way the ball hits the top of those rubbers and skirts off. It moves with purpose, and I tell you, I've been going on about Zen and you know how great their simulation is, but I've maintained that there is something wrong still with the ball physics, and if I could put my finger on it and explain it, it's how this ball moves. And it would be cool to sort of get the speed up on the, you know, the height on the table up to also see how it would move even faster. But this is the best physics I have ever experienced. Alright guys, let's wrap it up. So there you go guys. All of those games were awesome guys, and I must admit, you know, I thinking about EM pinball machines, I almost think it's a little bit like playing an Atari VCS or a 2600. You know, those games are so basic, the graphics are basic, but you play them for a couple of reasons. One is you play them because you're nostalgic for them, and anyone who's played any of these EM games back in the day, you'll be nostalgic to certain tables, you'll love that table, you'll probably go out and buy it and you'll love it forever. And we all do that when we, you know, for anything nostalgic. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be great in itself, but it always means a lot to you personally. So there's going to be those sorts of players, and it's the same thing with those Atari games. But the same thing with those Atari VCS games, there's games on there that still actually play really well, that they're still actually really fun to play. And I think you get the same experience with these EM machines. There's no doubt in my mind. I enjoy playing them. It's a different experience to the later solid state and the DMD pinball machines. It's just different. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed that. I hope it inspires you to get out there and play some EM pinball. So guys, I'm going to finish off here, and I am going to play some more Hot Shot. I have to. I'm loving this. And for that guys, I'm going to need some coinage. Got a 20.